All
Yes.
right.
Anyway.
So, basically, I guess where we left off, there we go. There's most of you guys. Um, you had just cleared out the kind of area in front of the mine of all kind of bandits you had seen, including kind of once you managed to take down the Beastmaster, kind of intimidating the remainder of the attack dogs to kind of flee into the woods. Um, this was after you had reported back to Marcus with the one prisoner from the previous encounter you guys had with in the wolf kind of den clearing, and he said uh, y'all, along with a couple other kind of small squads, were going to go back into the woods and just try to get a feel on how many bandits were in the area because roughly like 30 had attacked the town, with like 15 of them uh, being murdered because they attacked a basically entrenched military position. Um,
Dumbasses.
yeah, and so it was just kind of like, hey, go back out into the woods, see like how many there might be. It looks like if there were at least 30 that attacked us, maybe the talks of 20 people at a time um, robbing the ore shipments on the way back to town wasn't actually an exaggeration. And the one prisoner you brought back kind of told you that he had seen as many as 40 in the camp they had in the mine, but he obviously was just like, he's a cog, and so the number might be accurate, but that could just be that's the maximum number of people that camped in one place. It could be the max number of people. It could be half. Um, but you did manage to you snuck pretty well back through the woods after realizing that literally all four of you don't need a full night's rest to get a long rest. So I think you slept until like 10 or 11, and then walked through the woods at night and kind of got to the mine around like 3, 4 ish, and it wasn't really pretty. I think Fenrir came the closest to
One
dropping.
HP.
Yeah,
One HP.
but for the most part, everyone else just kind of murked them.
It wasn't even close. We
I had a very fun fight with the Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think I think I hit Duchess once, but then after the fight, you pretty much just drank one of the 6 health potions that only 2 of you need, and
Yeah.
uh, went back up to full. So we kind of start back at the mine. Most of you are in pretty good condition. You're basically just surrounded by dead bodies.
I'm going to check the corpses for any useful intel. Or anything valuable.
Can I go check the inside of the cave mouth?
Yeah.
I would roll investigation for that.
You want me to roll perception or investigation on my end for cave
There
mouth?
we go.
I will assist Duchess.
Um, I guess let me know what you're trying to see in the cave mouth.
Just anything. Is there any more signs of life in there? Is there anybody that might have been alerted again to, like, anybody that was not out in the area?
Yeah, okay.
Like,
So for that, we'll go ahead and do perception with you just kind of peeking into the initial opening. So yeah, you can roll perception for that.
21.
Yeah. So um, it from what you can hear, there's no rushing of feet to it doesn't sound like there is a band of reinforcements that heard the commotion outside, that are now rushing to meet you. As far as what you see, it is kind of like a straight path kind of going in, and you can kind of see the start of like some branching, to either side. But uh, just from the cave mouth, you can't see too much further deep into the mine to like get the layout of it. But it's
Okay.
pretty quiet.
And there's
If
no like little traps or anything that like if somebody got past everybody else, there'd be something there.
Yeah, there are no traps.
Okay.
It's you can probably guess, just kind of from the setup. Obviously, it wasn't trapped when it was in use because that doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. And so the fact that it's not trapped at the entrance or anything like that, you can probably safely assume that this clearing in front of it is where they set up camp. Like,
Okay.
uh, if there are people inside the mine, it's not the main group because
Got it.
otherwise, why wouldn't you put a guard at the mouth of the cave or
Well,
booby trap it kind of thing? So, yeah, you kind of get the idea. The main camp was this clearing.
okay.
Can I search the bodies of the Beastmaster and some of the other bandits?
Yeah. So, um, you don't really see anything super useful on any of the bodies. They do all have that kind of same bag of, well, it averages out to about 20 gold per person. You can tell some of theirs are lighter, and like the Beastmaster's a little bit heavier. So maybe they did some friendly gambling in the downtime when they realized the villagers weren't coming back to the mine. Um, but it there's no like there's no like paper or anything with like instructions that are like, hey, we're about to go attack the town, hold down the fort here. So it's like you get a lot of the same information, which you could probably have already assumed this anyways. The same people that you found at the wolf's den are here. They have the same gold minted by the Wood Elf Kingdom, way more than you usually see on bandits, more than you'd expect bandits to continue being bandits once they have. Like, this is, probably over a month's salary for a lot of people in the army, which is typically, viewed as a decent job. Um, like, other than the inherent danger in being the military, it pays much better than it costs to live. So, like, this is a
Or
decent,
unliving?
yeah, this exactly. This is a decent chunk of money. If they were just bandits, why are they still banditing? You know?
Yeah.
What of the
I'm
carts that
gonna
are
take
kind of sitting out there?
the gold from their bodies and just put it in like a separate pouch as evidence.
So, the carts are, um, despite what it shows on the map, you can kind of see like residue of like kind of ore and rocks. Like, these are what the villagers would use to carry or to transport what they had mined back to town before it's shipped off to the greater part of the kingdom or whichever place has a blacksmith that is, you know, purchasing, importing from their exports. So,
Mhm.
yeah, this is the carts or something the bandits probably didn't bring with them. That's from the villagers, and then the bandits got them from robbing the villagers. And but like the tents, and you can kind of see like the dog kennels over here. Um, Obviously, that's not really something you'd see for just like a place of work. Like, this is people who decide to make an encampment.
Mhm. Okay.
But
Do we
nothing else
want to?
besides that money on them, right?
Correct. As far as like interesting things go, um, it's pretty much like more of the same clue kind of thing.
And how much of the elven money was on?
So it's about 20 gold a person. Probably the Beastmaster probably has about 40 on himself, and then a couple of them have like 15, and one of them might have like 10 kind of thing. Um, so, but yeah, it averages out to about 20 per person, which um, I guess to like give an additional clue for this is starting to be like whoever is funding this has pockets. Like
Full of
you've,
change.
yeah, uh, it's starting to add up to like Larazis would actually use this amount of money kind of thing. Because how many people have you killed? Like
We've killed
16?
6.
16? That sounds high,
Well,
but
besides
Maybe
that one guy,
11.
yeah.
Maybe I did 5 and 6 or something like that.
That's 6 of them right here.
And I think you,
After we get all the gold, do we want to go investigate some of the mines, make sure everything's out, even if we didn't hear anything when we stood at the cave mouth? Make sure there's no stragglers that are hiding from us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It would probably be wise.
Make sure
so
there's no back exit that we need to follow.
I think you all had already added your money from the previous encounter. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to divide up, I guess it looks like there's 6 bandits in the Beastmaster, so it'd be like 140 gold to add up and divide between the 4 of you. If you're all kind of like, looting together kind of thing.
We would each
Either way.
get about 35 gold.
I have no idea where my money goes. I'll be honest.
You said 35?
35
have a
each.
money pouch.
Well, no, I mean like literally on
Oh,
the.
if
Oh,
you
go
click
to inventory and it should be right at the top right corner of your
Yep.
inventory. It should say like 100 some on.
I have none.
it should say a number.
Click on that. Click on it.
Oops.
It'll pull up everything.
Yeah, I have none.
Okay.
I
Now you have
think
35.
okay. I think I never found out how much I started with. Also. Oops,
That's
okay,
very possible.
that's fine. I now have 35 gold.
I believe I started off with like 10 gold.
I was a
That might have
corpse.
been, that might have been
Previously.
just what's it called? Starting for my class.
Whoops.
I started off with.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't know what to start with because like it. I
It
don't know
usually-
what it would make
It
sense for me
usually
to have.
adds the gold automatically.
Ah.
Whenever you make your
Oh, I
character,
selected that I was poor, so I should have 2 silver pieces.
I
I'll
think,
just add those.
yeah, I think
Is that why you
poor
joined the army?
is how much it costs for you to live.
Yes.
So
Ah,
yeah,
my
you'd
brain's not
still
working today.
have gold. We can figure it out. I think you should
Is-
have gotten like 25 from the first encounter and 35 from this one, and then we'll do your starting gold and add it all together.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't even add from the first encounter.
Is silver like a collectible type of coin?
God.
Sorry.
And that's not me speaking, that's Duchess speaking. She just puts her heads in her hands, just goes, Guards.
Rich
If you
people.
don't want the silver pieces, I can take them.
Same, over here.
He goes, I've just never really seen them before. They're quite interesting and
Oh my
triangular.
god. Yes,
Okay.
they are a
And what the
fun shape.
commoners use there, bud.
It's a poor person's platinum, if that helps.
Oh no.
The god of money whispers down into Lazarus. It's a poor man's platinum.
Poor man's platinum.
Which
Isn't platinum the poor man's?
Oh my god.
Wait, wouldn't platinum be is worth more than gold? No.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, in order to save room at some point in the storeroom, we converted a large amount of coin to gems, but
and so for
Oh my god.
Lorazes, gold is his copper, which would make
yeah,
platinum his silver, which I guess would make gems his gold.
probably.
And then I guess just land be your
Probably.
platinum. I don't know what your stupid rich family trades in after that.
After
How do
that,
you
it's
want to
just
land, though?
cattiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at some point you have to force Travis to start trading exclusively in gems, just to go back to his roots.
Be like,
It doesn't
oh,
matter about the price, just gems.
you still
Is it a
use
handful of gold or a
gems?
handful of gems?
We barter exclusively with magic items now. So
Mhm.
Oh,
You said it's what, 50 gold? All I have is a berserker's blade. Here, take this. I don't know what the change is. You can keep it. Have a great.
yeah. Maybe you could give me like 3 platinum and like 6 rubies and like a magic ring or something. That seems fair. I don't know how to do change. You're the merchant, and it's just this poor guy selling
That I've
bread.
actually done that in a game. That like I didn't have enough actual money for some shit, so I just chucked in a magic item too, and I was like, "Here, does this help?"
Oh yeah, we've done that one before.
Yeah,
He's like, I have so many
just goes
wands.
to a
Please take
potion
one.
shop, can't afford, doesn't understand the equivalence of silver, just gives him that magic item.
that was probably one of my proudest moments as my first character that Travis got to DM, which I had a wooden shield painted white to look like a shield of like dragon resistance or whatever.
White dragon scale shield.
Yeah. And so I used deception to convince the shopkeep to take it in exchange for giving us a bunch of like expensive healing potions because I also didn't want to spend that much money. And then I broke into his shop later that night, stole it back, and left a note blaming the Thieves Guild for stealing it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Because I was like, oh man, because I'd like joined the party late, and so I had already decided to do this. And then after I'd done it, I was like, oh man, the party already knew this guy. I don't want to burn any bridges. Okay, I'll go steal it back really quick.
Not the party's fault. The Thieves Guild robbed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the Thieves Guild was taking credit for a dragon I rightfully slew and no longer
Mhm.
remember doing so.
Like it's revenge, bitch.
Yeah.
All I did was annoy the dragon, but that was fine.
But you annoyed it very fast, very quickly. Okay.
Very effectively, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm
It's
so
called
good at
small
annoying people.
worm.
so
You did.
after looting the corpses, y'all make your way into the mine to kind of just explore. How are you wanting to proceed? Stealthily, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me,
It's dark in the mine.
It is dark in the mine, yes.
what is my,
Probably when people are in here mining, they all probably have lanterns with them. But it has been probably a week, if not 2, since anyone's been here. So it's pretty dark.
yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
like
roll
it
very
when
well.
when it's so dark you can't see all the color. It's very annoying. As I choke on pizza, sorry.
It's just, when it's kind of in a gray scale, but like you want
At
everyone
least
to
you can
know
still
that you can
see.
still see.
Figure cannot see at all.
Might
He
see
does
like a
not have
dog, but we can still see.
Oh, do you not have the ability to see at night?
No.
I love that you
Why?
guys are walking into a pitch black mine and your ask is, can you not see at night? Like it's at all the same.
He's looking around to where
I
he's
wouldn't
at.
know the difference.
Yeah.
Fenrir can't see at all, and okay, what's your name? Songshin can't see at all.
Oh wait, actually, can I see? Hang on. I
Can
always
you see?
assume that I can. I don't know.
In your senses box will tell you if you have dark vision.
Okay. When I find that.
It's possible she does.
Feats and traits,
Pizza traits. Okay, thank you.
and then she'll go down to like racial traits or something.
Um. No. I cannot.
Great. I'm gonna walk up to you in the dark, and I'm just gonna put my hand on your shoulder,
Oh.
and then put your hand on my shoulder.
Okay.
And just
Make it
ask you to
tragic.
grip something, either it be my cloak, an elbow, or my shoulder. So we don't lose you.
Okay.
I
will hang
see
on.
you two do this, and then I look at Fenrir, and I just shake my head. Then turn back to go deeper into the mine.
I cannot believe my ability to see in the dark did not carry over when I came back.
Casting Sacred Flame in my hand. So I can see.
I was just
could
about to come over
cast
there
the
and have
light
you.
spell.
I was just about to
Are
daisy
we
chain you
moving
bitches
quietly, or do we want to be able to see?
quietly,
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And you can
because I was
technically
about to go daisy chain those two.
Wait! I just found a thing. I have dark
What'd you find?
vision up to 120 feet. What?
What?
Wait.
All right, never mind. I'm gonna go to Fenrir and do what I
Okay.
did to
You have
Songshan.
improved your dark vision?
Yeah, it's Eyes of the Dark. It's from my sorcerer background.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
So you don't have the racial anymore, but yeah, being a shadow sork is coming in handy.
I solved my own problem and didn't know about it.
There you go.
Yay.
Cool. Then I'm gonna
That's
go.
why you
To...
don't have it from your race anymore. It's just innately better being your class.
It also, if I think it might between the UA, because now Reborn is like an actual just source. I think between UA and the lineage background, it lost like 2 features, and Dark Vision might have been one of them.
That's fair. I'm really hard to kill for a second time. So like me not being able to see is kind of okay.
Because the other one that I think the UA had you as like a dual type, which you were a humanoid and either a construct or an undead, and now you're just humanoid. So
where was it printed?
Okay, so Songshan can see then.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna
it was
go
in
to
Van
Fenrir.
Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That explains it. Okay, I was like, it wasn't in one of the monster books. I own all of those.
I'm gonna make sure Fenrir has something to grip, like my cloak or my elbow, just to make sure he can follow at least.
Just imagine a suit of armor like clasped onto your arm like a little like child. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's fine.
He grabbed his shoulder.
Weirder
Okay,
things
that's
have
also
happened.
Are we still stealthing?
I have a +8 for a reason in stealth. I think that helps a bit
Well,
when
I
it
only
comes to
got a
having slinky
5
suit
when
of
I rolled
armors.
for stealth.
Mine's
yeah,
fine
crap, roll stealth.
Yeah.
when it appears.
Guys.
Okay. Oh,
Oh
dick.
my god.
Guys, I'm
You
sorry.
did worse than me. How did you do worse than me?
There's nothing I love more than a smug high elf. Like
26.
you can't see at night. You got a
Nice.
26.
I got a 26.
I gotta warm up my digital dice. Give me a second.
Nope, you roll with that one.
I'm. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's not bad. Average of 10.
The D20 average is 11.
So just slightly below average. Yeah, all right. Which is probably what your overall stealth as a group is currently right now. Kind of just a little bit below average. Because probably Songshen and Fenrir come close to canceling out, and then Duchess comes very close to canceling out your critical failure, but not quite. So you're basically just like right at the, like, probably anyone with like a passive perception of 10 won't see you, but like anyone with anything higher would. Well, not see you, probably hear you.
I just imagine, like, I'm still talking, like I don't stop talking, but I'm just whispering.
Yeah, it's like, no, we have to be quiet. No, but it's fine. Like, what I'm saying is, like, why can't he, like, his eyes glow? Why can't they see in the dark?
Exactly.
That's fair. That is fair.
Like, if his helmet was off, I'd understand, but like, does it not give him like secret powers or anything?
Nope.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can make your way into the mine. I'll just kind of drag, and anyone who's on D&D Beyond, like, and wants to just move their own characters, you are more than welcome to. You can be like, stop it.
How do I
Yeah,
do
but
that?
you kind of see, you come to this little intersection, which is basically, it keeps going straight, goes off to the left, goes off to the right. This is probably the what you saw initially from your just peek into the mine.
What
I mean,
direction
I
are we
should definitely
going?
not be in charge.
If we want to explore it faster, we could always split up.
Nah, that's a bad idea. Never split the party, especially when
I
there's only
never
4
said it was a
people.
good idea. I just said it'd be faster.
We've seen what happens in Scooby Doo.
Well, they
Scooby-Doo.
usually always make it out alive. At least
Yeah.
I haven't seen an episode yet where one of them dies.
I
I
rewatched that
mean,
episode.
Scooby Doo?
Where one of them
There was
died?
a supernatural crossover.
yeah, I know. I was gonna say. I was like, are
There
we
was
counting
definitely
that,
death there.
kid? That's what I was like. Are we gonna count that? Cause like they get hurt in that one.
The official Scooby Doo team made the episode, so yes, I'm
Yeah,
gonna count it.
that's fair.
I moved there.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
the crossover
it's funny. They
episode.
split the party and got hurt
Well,
real
that'll
bad.
happen. We split the party more than we stick together, and I have to imagine Travis hates us.
It goes really well.
I love you guys. That's perfectly fine.
Because it's just like, oh, what should we do? Oh, we should split up so that,
Mm.
especially, God, Flint, poor guy.
I think we should go right just to start off.
Yeah,
See
fuck
if,
it.
see if it leads in a circle.
And I
What
will
do we see?
say, I'll say one thing you do kind of notice immediately, just like your passive, is there's, no light um, coming from pretty much any of these choices, which that doesn't mean anything. You don't know how deep the mind goes. They could be way far back, but at least at this point, um, either there's a bunch of fucking weirdos just chilling in pitch black, or um, they are way, way deep in the mine because none of you
And there's
have.
no other airflow coming up from any of the other tunnels besides the one we just came through.
Correct. Yeah, the air is definitely getting more and more stale the deeper you get into the mine, and we'll kind of let you go a bit further in, and so you kind of see it kind of dips down south and kind of goes back up north. Um, those who can see can kind of see the outlines of, um, I feel like troughs is the wrong word because that just makes me think of food for pigs. But
Crust?
whatever you would just kind of dump ore into before someone comes to collect it with a cart to wheel out of the mine, like you can kind of see that positioned all over the place. You got some discarded tools, like
Crates.
yeah, crates. Crates is a much better word for it. You know that wherever they put coal slop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Oh, it would be called a trough.
Mm,
Man, that's
okay.
my own bias of just associating that with pigs.
You lived in Tennessee too long.
I did, but
Sorry.
Yeah, because
yeah,
I associate it with horses. So
Mhm.
that's a good one. Yeah. Um, yeah. So just like with your passive, for those who, well, even Fenrir can see no light. If there were light, he could see. Um, so if you want to do an investigation or like a more focused perception check, you can do that. But just from passive, you're getting no hits of light. You're um, you're not getting any noise. So it's unless there's like just a dragon taking a nap in this mine, you're not getting any kind of danger sense yet.
I'm going to shed some light, if y'all do not mind, so I can see.
that's fine.
And he's going to cast Sacred Flame in his hands and hold it there.
Yeah. So you kind of the cavern that you're all kind of currently in um, lights up. Um, Probably everyone takes a moment to adjust. Kind of one of those things where it's like you walk to the bathroom in the middle of the night and flip the switch on, and it's like, oh fuck. Um, so
Flashbang.
you take a little time to adjust, but then yeah, you see uh, probably out to I don't I know that Sacred Flame is something you usually cast on someone, right?
You usually fire it at someone, yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it like a 30-foot torch kind of thing instead.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's like illuminated clearly, and you see, um, the outlines of the troughs become clear. You see
No
evidence
eyes
of
reflecting back at us, are there?
no eyes reflecting back at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you totally live in a rural area? Hmm.
Go out there, lift your lantern, and all the cows pick their heads up and stare.
Or, a mountain
Hungry
lion, a
stuff.
bear, bobcat, coyote.
Deer.
That would be rough.
Yeah,
Deer con
literally
headlights.
anything.
That's all like, oh, 2 eyes. When the cows do it, you just have like 80 eyes, just like
Yeah.
stare. It's
Or
great.
jackrabbits, those are. Ugh.
I have rabbits in the field, and you just see the little like glint in their eyes.
Mhm.
Uh,
And God forbid you see a pair of red eyes.
that's a me noping back inside. Be like,
This
You
is why I
know,
don't look outside.
yeah, that's enough nature for today, is what
there's
I
a
would
reason
say
you
at that
don't
point.
go explore shit in the middle of the night out
Mhm.
here.
That's what we just did.
Don't do it in the Appalachian either. You didn't hear anything. You go back inside.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You didn't hear shit come from the woods.
I would just like to laugh briefly at Travis for course correcting yourself halfway through mispronouncing Appalachian.
Yeah.
But now that I can see, I'm going to walk ahead.
Uh, and so, like, basically, as you get here, you illuminate even more, and um, yeah, I I would say probably like you can tell me if you're looking for any additional things. Um, I'd say you're probably looking for evidence of
Activity.
activity, signs of a larger force of bandits that maybe used to be here and are no longer here, or worst case, bandits that are still here and they've just been in the dark like a bunch of fucking weirdos. Um, and then kind
Not
of
paranoid,
secondary
right? You.
might be on your radar, might not be. You do remember when the town was attacked, the bandits came from the main road, which doesn't mean much because that's just, you take the path out of the mines, out of the forest, you hit the main road, you come to Gesh. Not really anything special about that, except that is where it's the same direction the prince and his bodyguards left on their tour of the towns. So you don't have any hard evidence that anything happened to him, but you do remember Marcus kind of having a little bit of concern for him, not so much the two people that are with him, um, as far as they're walking into the direction that the larger force of bandits ended up coming from.
Hmm. We'll have to roll to see if there's been any activity in here. Would that be investigation?
Yeah. At
Or,
this point, it'd be kind of specific investigation.
ooh, I did actually really well there. That is an 18.
Okay. That is pretty good. So you do see, um, and it's kind of like in the oddities is what you notice because it's just like there are some crates that are overturned. There are some mining tools that are kind of just dropped haphazardly. Like, this is not what it would look like for actual workers to close out their shifts. This looks more like maybe
Inexperienced.
once someone came in here looking for, they heard it was a mine, maybe it was valuable, realized that really it's just, unrefined iron ore. That's it's there's no gems that have been cut out of rocks just waiting for um, entrepreneur bandits to come snatch up and start a small business or whatever. Um, so it you don't get any evidence of like prolonged activity here. It does look like at least they came in once, realized there wasn't really anything valuable to be had down here, and it doesn't look like they came back.
The moment I see all that, I'm going to start heading back towards the group. It doesn't look like they've been in here. I think they came here once, but they didn't return.
Okay. Think we should do a quick check of the other rooms just to make sure, or are we good here?
I have a feeling they didn't find what they were looking for, so they didn't come back. I doubt we'll find any more.
Okay.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
But as we're walking out, I'm going to be keeping an eye out, see if there has been more activity in the mines, like certain directions or anything else like that.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Yeah. So I keep grabbing you. So, and you don't really see too much more evidence from here. It's possible, like, if you walked into either of these corridors and kind of went down into any of these other rooms, you'd maybe see evidence of a lot of the same thing, which was,
Looking for valuables.
someone looking for valuables, which again is kind of weird considering the kind of high pay these bandits are obviously receiving, because they're not
Sure.
Well, see,
stealing.
this is a mine.
Yeah, they're not stealing gold off of these small town miners. They're definitely not stealing gold minted by in the Wood Elf Kingdom off these small town miners.
Mm.
So um, it it just kind of seems like bizarre activity to be kind of be going through, like almost.
Especially in mine, where they have all that gold.
You could almost maybe chalk it up to like boredom. Like maybe they're just fucking bored and they were like, okay, well, what if there's gems in here? That that's like a rich
Could
man's
we,
gold.
Yeah,
could we go check,
Lord.
see the
it's like
main
something
road?
of actual value.
I think it'd be better to go check the main road.
Yeah. We can
At
probably.
least where the bandits came from and see if the prince or any of them left any evidence on the road. For now, at least.
So we'll go back out here. And it's probably still pretty early in the morning. So let's go ahead and switch to here. Might take a while to load.
Oh, good.
And so, basically, as you kind of walk through the kind of forest path out of the mine, and it does take considerable less time than walking kind of stealthily through the woods did. Probably only maybe like an hour's worth of travel from the clearing to where the main road meets the kind of forest path. And we'll kind of drop you guys here. And so you're wanting to investigate, see if there are any signs of kind of activity. So yeah, anyone who is wanting to go ahead and roll an investigation check. See if you see anything noteworthy.
Well, that's not going to be my roll.
11.
I rolled 4.
I got
How's that?
11. Okay, 11 again.
Yeah.
17.
Okay.
Yay.
So at a minimum, what you all see is it's a very well traveled road. There are tons of footprints on it. Kind of the difference that maybe Duchess and Songshen see that Fenrir doesn't really notice is they do notice what looks to have been a larger party kind of traveling all at the same time, and then just with a little bit extra kind of insight. Lorazis kind of has this Humperdinck moment in Princess Bride where he's kind of able to see, you know, at this part of the road, it's not just people marching. There are scuff marks going backwards. There's what looks like he assumes martial people doing martial things. Um, you do see um, some blood. Um, it doesn't look like enough to have been a death by any means. Um, so, uh, enough evidence of an encounter happening on the road, but either um, uh, either like the bandit shot from hiding and wounded, like kind of gave a glancing blow to one of the travelers, and they sprinted off, or the bandits took them by surprise and it wasn't able to kind of go into a full pitch battle. You don't you don't know exactly what happened, but there's not enough blood, dried or otherwise, to kind of say, "Oh, someone was murdered on this road." Like whatever kind of
Was
whatever combat
was
happened, it ended with everyone still alive. Like you just came from town where there were 15 bodies and they were leaking their lifeblood everywhere. So you know what you know a dead body worth of blood looks like staining a dirt road kind of thing. And this
you
is
also killed some.
you've also killed many. You killed some in a clearing yourself. Yeah. So uh you don't have the full Humperdinck, but you can tell uh, there might have been a little bit of a scuffle, maybe a kerfuffle, um, but but no
Haven't
one
heard that word in a while.
no one died. But it was more than and you can kind of start piecing the pieces together, where there was this big party of kind of people walking one way. They came into contact with this much smaller party heading the opposite direction, and um, everyone seems fine ish. And then you do kind of see, um,
Wait, did you say a smaller party heading the opposite direction?
right,
We're on the
sorry.
main road?
So, kind of meeting where you were, you had this, you and Songshen both kind of noticed on this well traveled road what was obviously like a party of uh, kind of numerous men walking
Yeah.
towards Gesh,
So
and
you said
then
there was a
and
smaller party there too.
yeah, and that is what Lorazes can probably assume were the prince and his bodyguards heading north along the road, and then it looks like
Yeah.
they met in the middle. Um, and kind of as he relays all that, um, actually, why don't we do a second investigation check? Um, Lorazes, I'm going to give you advantage on this one just because you're kind of continuing your train of thought. But like as you're talking, like everyone else is going to get like a fresh set of eyes, like they're hearing what you're saying, um, and now they're looking specifically for signs of like, okay, well, did they walk this direction? Did they walk that direction? Like, obviously,
I
the
got an
prince and
8.
his bodyguards weren't with the party that attacked the town, or else we would have seen them. But yeah,
Right.
so
You said you got an 8.
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20.
Nice.
Might be that time.
that's very good.
Ooh.
Did you all who the houses?
Sorry, what was that? I was putting up pizza.
Yeah. So you have just like kind of relayed um, your kind of additional findings on top of Songshen and Duchess seeing the large party of footprints that were heading towards Gesh. You kind of put together that um, there was a much smaller party, probably 3 people, coming up from the direction of Gesh that looks like they met the larger party pretty much here. That's when the kerfuffle happened. And so everyone's kind of re-rolling investigation to see if they can get additional kind of things from that. And since this is just a continuation of your own kind of investigation track, I was going to let you roll with advantage. But we've got a dirty 20 from Fenrir, so we're probably going to get something. Hey, you matched Duchess with your first roll.
Oh,
There we go.
can do it.
Natural 20.
Nice.
30-20
Okay.
still beats it. But yeah.
I will also roll.
Fairly close.
It's a number.
There are times the digital dice will like bounce twice and then like have a number, and then there's other times where it'll just keep going
Yeah.
and bounce like around the screen like a
Mhm.
screensaver.
It happens to my sister on D&D Beyond for some reason. Anytime she rolls, we're just like waiting here for seconds, and like everyone else, and there's 6 other players. Anyone else, it's just like instantaneous, and then Diane will roll and it'll just be like, okay,
He's
and your
rolling too
number
hard.
is so.
Roll,
Um,
roll, please.
It might have something to do with the number of tabs.
it's possible. She also has apparently a very old laptop, so.
Oh, that might be it.
So, Duchess, you're not really looking at footprints at this point. Like, when you kind of hear, oh, there was kind of a kerfuffle struggle. Uh, you're more concerned with kind of looking outward, and you're kind of back on. Uh, I want to see people coming without being seen myself, and so you don't really notice anything extra because you're
Back on perimeter check.
yeah, you're back worrying about that. You're like cool footprints, cool, whatever. Does that mean that there might be more people that would be coming back here? I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Yeah. There's gotta be at least one person who does that.
Everyone else, because you've rolled pretty similar, you do notice there kind of appears to be like almost equal sized heading in opposite directions now. Um, and so, kind of what you notice heading towards Gesh, which was about 30 people, you see heading up north instead.
And what's north of us?
You would probably know, and Larazis would also probably know, because you kind of came into the human kingdom through the same route. There's a kind of port town. It's not really a port town. It's more of like a fishing village slash like hub because it's right on. It's like just north of the road on the coast of the river. So they get a lot of traffic from the elves that will cross the river. So they're like a decent trade town, but they're not really a port because they mostly do fishing on the river. They've also got kind of a they're they've got their own kind of forest to the right of them. Um, Calling it a forest is probably an insult to the actual wood elves who come from a forest, but roughly the same size of woods that you walk through to get to the mine. They've kind of got, so it's like they've got lumber trade, they've got fish trade.
Okay.
They don't really have the same farming community that was just south of Gesh, but yeah, you know that there's a town. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary that that is where the prince and his bodyguards were heading before this
It
happened.
went down. Okay. Okay.
She relayed this message, this to me as well.
What's the name of the town? Did you ever say the name?
I did not. It is Midrash. I'll put that in Twitch, but I'll put that in our little Discord.
And how many did you say the prince were heading up north towards the Josh?
So it appears to be roughly the same kind of size of parties that's kind of split in half. And so what you had seen as, oh, this was a lot of people walking, and you just kind of assumed it was what had gone down to Gesh, actually was roughly double what went down to Gesh, because there now appears to be like equal amount of tracks heading in opposite directions.
So the force was split.
Correct.
Do you want to start heading up north, or do we want to? I mean, we can keep going back and popping in on, um, what's his face, Marcus, and being like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this shit," or we could just
Go do it.
ditch and go, and then report back in whenever the hell whenever the hell we find a messenger, and like send him a letter of what we're doing.
How
Yeah.
far away are we from camp at the moment?
And how far is Midrash as well?
So from camp, um, I should have listened to last week's session to remember how long I told you it would take to get through the woods. It's
About
shorter
4
than
hours.
that, so it's probably like a 2-hour walk back to camp. Maybe an hour and a half if you're making good time. Because I'm like
Okay.
trying to think of like measurements that would make sense for, people aren't going to end a shift mining to then lug a cart 4 to 5 hours back home. So like it has
Yeah.
to be like a walkable distance for like someone who finishes work would still do it.
For
So
like 2 miles.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
Midrash is about a day and a half to 2 days travel, depending on kind of speed taken.
I think we should probably go back to camp and inform him, and then gather supplies, and then head up that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Possibly get horses.
That would
That's
probably.
fair.
Oh yeah, hey, we have army resources now.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's right.
And I know all about army resources, so I won't be surprised by anything.
Sure about that.
All the requisitions.
I'm very sure about that. Confidence.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're heading back to base camp for right now?
Yeah.
To inform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna go. So let's see here. It's probably somewhere between 6 to 8 a.m. when you guys come back to town. I'm trying to do like the math in my head of like the range of where you showed up in the clearing and then took less than a minute to kill everyone. And then maybe you spent 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how thorough
Sure.
you wanted to be, investigating the mine. You paused for a little time out of once you got to the main road after about an hour there. So I, depending on when you left the previous night, and then it was about a 4 hour trip through the woods, and then it's about 2.5 hour total using the path, the road, and then some time for investigation. You're basically getting there right around the time that like camp would be breaking, um, or not really breaking. You're not breaking camp, but you know everyone who wasn't on last watch is now waking up and kind of going about their day.
I wonder if the mayor actually found the lemon mill in front of his house.
I forgot that you bullied the mayor.
Yeah, we
before you
totally did.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real reason Duchess won. Just go ahead and start north.
Don't shit in the same place twice. I'm just saying.
Well, he doesn't know it was us.
He knows it was Larazis.
Right? Didn't
I
he
mean, yeah.
leave a note?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
we
did.
did.
And signed his goddamn
Yeah, he
name.
did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. That doesn't mean it was us. It could have been just Larazis.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point. He could just
How well
extra.
can the rest of you lie?
He could just extra hate Larazis right now. I think everyone else has pretty decent charisma.
Yeah.
I would never lie.
Lie.
No, that would be Moth. Moth is built for lying. And belittling people.
I know. I am
Dying.
very much enjoying the contrast between Songshen and Moth. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, Songshan isn't really here this week. My brain has melted. Oh,
No brain.
no brain.
Just point.
Just dice. Only dice.
no thoughts, just dice.
No thoughts,
That's
just
that's
shiny
fair.
click-clacks.
You just tell me to roll and I'll tell you the number, but I'm not going to be the one to initiate.
Right?
So we
Uh,
just got there and everybody's starting to wake up.
Yeah.
we're efficient.
You were efficient. I'm not going to lie. I had kind of had a plan because he had talked about sending out multiple squads kind of first thing in the morning and to
And we
investigate. And
Can we catch him before he
and we
does that?
left
yeah,
Please?
before that.
and y'all realized that you only needed 4 hours of rest and ended up leaving at like 10 p.m. Yeah, actually, that's probably what you see. Is
It's gathering troops.
you
Scouts.
you probably see like the normal scout troop kind of coming back from the woods, um, having just done like their usual kind of sweep, and then you do see probably like 2 other squads, about 5 or 6, and they look a bit newer, kind of like all of you, and they look to be getting kind of instructions from Marcus, um, but they're kind of nodding along, like okay, and they kind of range in confidence between Songshen and Lorazes, of like
Can I walk up to Marcus and stand just out of his personal space?
Oh my god.
I am that asshole. You
just
bet your ass I am.
You're just keeping a respectful distance, but it's just standing at attention.
I am that asshole because I know I can get away with it right now.
There's a large scale of people, and yeah, this makes total sense that both of you would do exactly this. Um, but yeah, he notices Fenrir kind of standing at a respectful distance, at attention, and I assume you walk up to, because this is kind of what you do. You just kind of stand like on his left
Right
or on his
outside your
right,
personal space.
like right
Yep.
behind him. Like, yeah,
Just
you're
imagine just
That's
arm
exactly what
around
the
his
fuck I
shoulder,
do.
like, what's up, man?
No, I am not that. No, I'm just the person that gets up right next to your personal space without actually breaching your personal space, so it's supremely uncomfortable.
you just
He's
like
I
set
feel the
cruise
steps
control in
and
someone's
force.
blind spot on the interstate.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really what I do.
You're just like, you're gonna have to crane your neck to see me, and
Ugh.
go fuck yourself.
You're gonna have to turn to actually see me.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had a
Welcome back.
call about a job interview I have tomorrow. So.
Oh,
nice,
cool.
Congratulations.
exciting.
Wait, in a good way or a bad way?
A good way, because my friend works there, and he was giving me an insight of the manager's notes and what they were wanting and expecting from the interview.
Nice.
Oh, so this was an inside job. You had to
Oh,
Oh yeah, this is
keep the
I'm cheating.
keys.
It's
yay.
good stuff.
Welcome back to me standing just inside Marcus's blind spot and waiting for him to notice me.
I'm pretty sure he felt a disturbance. in the
Is your
force when he did
stealth
that.
like 30?
I mean, it can be.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll stealth and see? Because
See if he like.
you're gonna do this
It
regardless,
could be an hour and a half.
but let's see if he
But he already
notices you
knows
do it.
finger, so.
Yeah,
23.
that's.
The- What's his passive perception?
I mean, it's not 23. I haven't fully fleshed
Weird.
out his stats on D&D Beyond, but I
I
wasn't good.
can't believe you haven't fully fleshed out this man that we're here to annoy.
I know.
Exactly.
But regardless, even if I was like, you know what, fuck you, he has the observant feat, I feel like it would still only get him up to like a 19.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
As you can tell, I'm not happy with him, so I'm just a supreme asshole.
yeah. So you definitely do your thing. He notices Fenrir immediately. Travis, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Lorazes is the kind of person that would just kind of walk right up to him and tell him what you all accomplished.
Oh yes, well, we all know what I.
I feel like the rest of the party is like a warning sign for me. Like, if you see them, I have to be somewhere near.
Yep. Yep. That was all right.
I feel like I'm stood somewhere just out of sight, but I am fully close enough to listen and interject.
Like you've somehow just kind of moved in, so you're almost a part of like the other squads that he's talking to. So be
In the
like,
back line.
yeah, there are so
What
many
is
more
here the whole
people in
time?
your groups. Yeah.
How amused are the rest of the squad seeing this shit happen?
Oh man, yeah.
Because I'd definitely be amused.
Oh yeah.
They're probably, some of them are probably snickering, some of them are like, what the hell is going on?
I just imagine Marcus like starts to slowly turn, and you just shift to stay in
Yeah.
his blind spot, and everybody that's like watching is just like,
Because that's the thing is,
Like Marcus at this probably knows I'm there, but I'm
Yeah.
just being the asshole.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like it's just like a personal stealth check. Yeah, like you're not hidden behind anything except Marcus. Like you're just
Like, am I still able to sneak up on you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a one piece of stroke of luck, you bastard. One stroke of luck you had.
so,
Just lorded over him that yes, I can still sneak around you.
and you're only gonna get worse or better.
Yep.
Worse, better.
I'm only gonna get better at sneaking.
Yeah, so he definitely knows you're nearby or dead, I guess is the other option.
He's like a
Because
50-50 chance.
he sees the other three. He sees Songshen kind of trying to just blend in with everyone else and kind of appear
If he
small.
looks back at Fenrir, he's just shaking his head.
Somebody should look really fucking sad.
So I'm assuming that since you're not dead, you're fucking with me again. He like turns really quickly.
I don't even move. I don't even try. I just stand there smirking with my arms crossed over my chest, like, yeah, I am.
You know, if you didn't think it was
Just
boring,
smug and proud of myself.
you'd make a great scout.
Sucks that I don't want to be one there now, does it?
What's that? He's actually seen Duchess. I'll walk towards him. If Fenrir had eyes, he'd be rolling them.
It's just like the spinning icon loading.
Yep.
God, that I feel like that freaked me out so much. If if undead animated armor could show sass, I don't know what I would do.
He can. He just has to use his body language.
Yeah, but with his
I
eyes,
just shake my head.
eye sass hits different, and everyone knows that.
So does the hip cocked out, arms over your chest, and a smirk also hit different too. So
That also hits different. That's what you can't accomplish with an eye roll.
yeah,
Reporting in, sir.
it's the exact look I'm giving Marcus too. I know I'm better than you at this. Deal with it.
I am gonna do something. But yeah, Fenrir, you are, I guess, probably supporting. Oh shit. Kind of Lorazis as he's telling the story of your heroics.
The mission.
Yeah, because Mark's like, I honestly, for a second there, I thought maybe you were just late waking up, but Shade told me that all of your tents were empty. And so I guess we rightfully assumed that you had decided to investigate a little earlier.
Benefits of being an undead, I assume.
So
The early
worms.
bird catches the worm.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're headed up
You
toward.
don't know what silver is, but you've got worm analogies.
Yeah. They're headed up toward Nadrash right now, as far as we know.
My teachers definitely use those analogies all the time.
Do you know what a worm is?
No.
I'm assuming some sort of creature that
Oh,
birds
yeah.
enjoy. I don't know.
Like
Close enough.
you've heard of purple worms, but that doesn't seem like natural prey for a bird. Unless
How big is the worm?
kind of-
Oh, I mean, maybe.
yeah, what kind of birds are they
Maybe.
talking about?
Perhaps a rock. I've heard of rocks.
I have 2 rock feathers in my hair too, so you're like, oh yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Could a rock take out a baby purple worm?
A rock could probably take out a full-size purple worm.
Oh, wow, rocks are bigger than I remember.
Yes.
45-foot wingspan on
So
average.
I thought they were like 200-foot wingspan, but okay.
I meant baby rocks.
Oh, okay. I was
The
like,
lowest
oh.
CR rock, I think, is still CR 9.
Ugh.
It's a
How
baby
big do
rock
purple worms
against
get?
A baby
Just
purple one.
imagine
Or
all
any.
the party members are actually discussing that.
Yeah, but it's just
Like,
us inside.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
I absolutely love the idea of this happening in game.
just totally holding up everything in camp
Yeah.
about like arguing about rocks and purple worms in front of Marcus.
Yeah, be like,
Yes.
do you even know what a worm is? Well, yeah, I mean a purple worm, but
Finger is just staring at Marcus, shaking his head again.
Like, yeah, I know I'm an asshole.
so who is heading up to Midrash?
As far as we know, the bandits.
The
There was a
bandits.
whole big old
There
thing
were-
of
There
chompy
were
footprints headed up that way.
30 more bandits that would have attacked here, but instead went north. Madrash. And we can assume that there was a small party that was met along their way to here. Because there was a little bit of blood. Not a lot. But
Not like a
enough
whole
sight.
corpse.
Yes.
You can kind of see he looks a little bit like kind of torn / confused, because I mean it's not good news any way you spin it, but
No.
to head all the way up to Midrash doesn't seem plausible. That has like they have an actual town guard. It's not like Gesh here. There's that's not it's not us that the I guess only half of the bandits ran into, but
Yeah,
it's not
but
it's not an
veritable
easy take. Um,
a veritable small militia can get in and stealthily get in, infiltrate the areas, get shopkeepers shut down, get supply trains shut down, and then just basically foxhole everybody there.
Yes.
there's
We did clear out the mine.
Yeah, we did do that.
Mm-hmm.
Of whatever remains of the bandits that came here.
do they all have the same gold on them?
He
Yep.
shows the pouch of gold again. Yes, sir.
And he kind of holds up like a small pouch, um, and kind of tosses it to you. There's only about 5 gold a person in there. He's like, we already divided up the rest between the others. This is, I mean, someone is funding this group of bandits. This is, we've now found what, roughly 200 to 300 gold on them, and that was only half of the party, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they're trying to do things in other parts of the kingdom, like this requires a good amount of funds.
And resources too.
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
For most
The
people, it's a
suicide
lot of
pathway,
funds.
correct?
Well, just the straight up logistics of getting the horses, getting transportation, getting the food, getting the water, hiding camp.
That's a fair point, Duchess. Payment for the deed is probably only a fraction of the resources they're expending. And we still don't even know what, besides causing chaos down here, what's their larger end goal. So
That's why you came
Could
back
also
to
just be trying to destabilize the outer towns with some resources there that are part of the supply chain, which then end up destabilizing the bigger pieces of supply chain because things aren't trickling in. When things aren't trickling in, other things stop trickling in. Or it gets just too overwhelmed and shit gets lagged. And that gets bad. The domino effect.
yes. Well, I would say you have so far surpassed any expectations I had. I feel like I sent you on 2 probing scouting missions, and you came back with a prisoner with information and cleared out the camp they had at the mines on the second trip. So
Yes, it was not fun, but
Yeah, not really.
that kind of
Went
work
fine for
rarely
me.
is.
My grandfather always said, you must always go above and beyond expectation.
if anything, I would require some rest. Let's
I would
explain
say
things.
you have definitely earned some rest. Um, I would. I will send some people up the road to try to scout as far north as they can, but we might have to take this trail as far as we can. If it leads all the way to Midrash, we might have bigger problems.
I have a question real quick. Were there any scout groups or like small parties that came back slightly injured, but not like in sacks, shall we say?
Body bags.
Yeah, because if the bandits fought somebody, but nobody was killed there, who were they fighting?
Right, because we have like 4 different ideas out of it being the princes, some random ass peasant on the road, or one of our scouting groups.
Exactly.
How many
And
left in that direction?
Scouting groups. How many scouting groups left?
None. We were the only ones out at that time. It looks like.
yeah. So, and I would say you would know this if it weren't boring. You know that they're pretty much just kind of going out in uh, probably like a half-mile sweep. Um, Probably some of them that gets them right to the edge of the forest. Some of them it goes up the road a ways. Um, Potentially, that's probably another reason why the attack on the town went so poorly. Is probably one of the kind of revolving scouting groups saw a big force of bandits coming down the road, and so it wasn't even close to being a surprise. But Marcus does turn to you and he's like, no, as far as I can tell, every report we've gotten from our scouts has been quiet. Um, Other than the one time they came down to the town, and then the 2 groups that you made contact with, uh, our scouts have not engaged during any of their sweeps.
That just leaves the prince or some traveling merchant group.
Well, why don't I let you all get some rest, and when you're ready for potentially your next assignment, you can come find me in my tent.
Okay,
Yeah,
That sounds reasonable.
yeah.
give us like 4 hours.
I forgot you guys can just long rest and it'll be fucking noon.
Yeah.
Long rest, do
I
some brunch, do some crimes.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
sip mimosas during brunch. It'll be great. They have mimosas here, right?
The joys of eating and drinking.
But they don't have champagne because that's only from the Champagne region of the High Elf Kingdom. They have sparkling grape juice from the Wood Elf Kingdom.
Yes, I will take a Martinelli's, please.
Duchess, what's your passive perception?
13.
Could you make a dex save for me?
Here, you. Well, not 20 that bitch.
You feel like a bowstring kind of start to trip you as you walk away, and you just do a very quick, like, you kind of just, kind of move with it, and you kind of spin around as the bow kind of sweeps what would have been you out from under yourself.
Mm-mm.
And like as you're spinning in this kind of acrobatic maneuver, you see Shade basically standing in the position that you were standing to Marcus, and she always has a mask, and so you can't see the smirk, but like you can see her eyes, and you can tell that she's also smirking.
Can I land with like my dagger out and then see it her and go, touche, touche.
We can always get better. And she just kind of nods. You can tell like she was enjoying herself, but it's like it's kind of that like I don't. I feel like it's cliche in so many movies where like people are fighting each other and they realize like they're evenly matched and they just start to have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that you nat 20'd her trying to trip you, like, yeah, you didn't notice her. Yeah, she's probably still technically sneakier than you at your level now, but like that kind of just going with the flow. So like it wasn't even like you kind of stepping over it or trying to jump and like looking awkward. Like it was almost like you're just flowing with it, and you can tell like she very much enjoyed kind of that display, and she just kind of nods, and she kind of walks into the tent with Marcus.
There's a very happy smirk playing across
I look
Duchess's face right now.
confused, and I lean to Sing Shin. Wood elves, am I right?
I
I
wouldn't
can
know.
hear you.
That was half the point.
I feel like the
Everyone's
other
in a good
half
mood.
is I think Songshen used to be a half elf.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I have the ears.
She doesn't know whether or not she should be offended.
I have
But
no
as soon
idea,
as she gets
honestly.
her memories back, she's gonna
Oh
come back
boy.
to you and either laugh
Yes.
with you or slap you.
Yes.
Fenrir is just
Retroactive
standing
anger.
there.
I was a wood elf once.
The entire party except me used to be wood elf.
Marcus just
Well,
Mission Impossible
hey,
style rips off his face, and he was a wood elf the entire time too.
my
I'm
is
paying
not
to have
about.
the kingdom destroyed.
Too
Yeah.
obvious.
Fenrir goes to the tent. Just he doesn't even need to lay down. He just stands in a position in it. Whatever he does is it makes him look like a suit of armor being on display.
I
Um,
fucking loved that. Yeah.
at the bedding of are we being led to like a barracks tent?
So it's probably one of those things where there are probably areas of the camp um, that it's kind of like probably everyone has their own uh, kind of single uh, tent that they do have to assemble themselves. They don't have magical pop up tents. and like a bedroll. And so it's like there are a lot of smaller tents. There are some like, there are scout captains, there are kind of infantry sergeants that probably have, even though it's still just for themselves, they have larger tents. So they have, because they're the kind of people that probably get reports in from others. And so it makes sense for them to have more than just basically a roof over their sleeping bag. But no, you kind of have an area. Um, well, yeah, you would have done it last night when you slept for the last 4 hours.
Oh, that's fair, actually. Yeah, I have a
You,
pop-up tent.
yeah, you kind of split up into your squads. Sometimes it's split up. It also kind of depends on what you're doing at the time. Like if you're setting up camp and you're maybe expecting, to the possibility of attack, the tents might be arranged in what would make sense for once the alarm goes up, people need to be out in formation. But like where you are now, it's mostly separated into squads and it's kind of, just kind of in the flat grassland off the road next to the town. It probably, you know, roughly 40 to 50 tents are, including your four, are, well, your three, and then once Lorazes pops his out, four.
Yeah, it's just like a little box that I say a command word,
Yeah.
and then boom, it's a tent.
Mhm.
3,000 thread count sheets,
Or I just like
nice
climb a tree
4-post
somewhere.
bed.
Fenrir does take
Like my tent is
you just
conspicuously,
stand under a little balcony type thing and just stand
and my
there.
Yeah.
tent's just like is always empty. You gotta go like hunt through the trees to find me, man. I'm probably somewhere on a roof, on a tree, somewhere up high and sleeping.
I have like a small writing desk that's almost like a lectern and a small like bookshelf. I'm glamping.
Would you like a suit of armor in there?
It would 1,000% make sense for him to just have a suit of armor as a decoration in his little tiny tent.
Without him noticing, I'll just sneak in there and just stand.
You just come in, and I'm just like, you've given me an idea. Thank you. I'm going to decorate sometime.
Oh god.
He just stays in the corner. You can't even tell if he's actually a living being or just
For the
a
aesthetic, you
suit
can
rack.
totally sleep in my tent.
Decorative.
I need to know, how does Songshen sleep? I just need to know if you're all fucking weird.
Yeah, that's part of his racial trait.
Hang on. I just need to check something real quick because I don't know that I actually technically need to sleep. I just need to rest. So I guess I'm just like sat in a tent, like cross-legged, just like fanning myself with my eyes open for like 4 hours.
Do you sleep like Gandalf?
Yeah, a little bit. I think. Hang on. Blah, 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 blah. I don't need to sleep. So I sit and I fan myself and just stare into the middle distance for the entire 4 hours.
I do love that because, no one would actually come check on you in this way, but I love the idea of like, if someone was doing rounds to make sure everyone was accounted for, being like, good night, Songshen. Oh, yep, just doing that thing where you stare directly at me while fanning yourself. Cool. Yep. Good night,
Yep, love
Duchess.
that.
Oh, yep, you're not there, but you're probably somewhere. Not going to report that. Good night, Lorazes and Fenrir, you glamping motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They just peek in and see fingers just standing in the corner, like, is that Sudamar or is that Fenrir?
Nobody's
If it
quite
ever
sure.
does get reported to
Yes.
Marcus, Marcus is
Sometimes I
like,
forget myself.
I
If it
love
ever
the
does
idea
get-
of like possibly double counting Fenrir sometimes when they're taking roll. Be like, no, he
He's
wasn't
just-
on the west side of camp. I saw him on the east side. Nope, that's just
yeah.
an extra suit of armor that we
I
have.
love the
Whereas
idea of
it's
somebody
put in
going
his
to
tent.
Marcus.
Oh, you just gave me a horrible idea.
I love the idea of somebody going to Marcus and being like, yeah, so I can't find Duchess. And Marcus just points to the tree above his tent, like, she's up there. Just don't wake her.
Can I go to the artery?
Can you go to the armory?
Partridge in a pear tree. Leave me alone.
Is there a little makeshift armory that we have? Makeshift armory tent?
Probably like a quartermaster tent, yeah, that has like extra gear and
I'm gonna sneak
that
into
type of
there.
You're gonna sneak into there?
I'm gonna try and sneak into there.
Go try to sneak into there for me.
Give me a big number, please. Oh. One's a 10, one's a 12.
You said one's a 10, one's a 12, or one's a 2 and one's a
Yeah.
12. Okay.
One's a 10 and one is a 12.
That's, I mean, honestly, not terrible. It
And that was
is.
the disadvantage.
Yeah. I had to remind myself what time of day it is because I was like, at night, maybe it'd make like not matter as much because it wouldn't be like manned, but like this is definitely like when the quartermaster is going into the tent and taking inventory and doing his thing.
Can I
It's
do it while he's out of the tent?
Wait for him to leave. You're just gonna stand there like you're a suit of armor.
Yes.
in the armor?
Fun.
Yes. Yes.
oh,
Yes.
We're all evil.
okay. Um,
Mischief managed.
Duchess is rubbing off on me. I do not like this.
okay. Um, you kind of hear him mutter under his breath, like, "You can't just be dropping. I don't even know. No one. Fuck." And he like makes a note on like his clipboard that he's carrying, and he like starts struggling, kind of trying to drag you into the tent.
Is he like trying to like lift me to try to do that?
Like your armor on a stand, right?
Yeah. And you can.
Would he
Well, I
be
have heavy
heavier than
armor,
armor on a
so-
stand?
Oh, he's so fucking heavy. I'm assuming. Well, I don't
He's
know.
full
I
of
guess.
ghosts.
I only
Yeah.
weigh
How,
about the.
yeah. How much does
I
your
only
soul
weigh
weigh?
about. I don't weigh
Whoa,
anything.
Anubis calmed.
Oh,
It's
God
whatever
damn it.
whatever the armor weighs.
My Apple Watch apparently decided to eavesdrop on me because legend has it that the soul weighs 21 grams, but science can neither prove the existence of the soul nor weigh one. So,
So
He's full of souls.
chainmail armor weighs about 55 pounds.
yeah. So he's probably he's not deadlifting you. He is probably dragging you.
I'm
And
not.
And you're an
I'm
awkward
not-
size. It's not like a medium-sized dog you can just like and like pick up.
yeah. And let me roll again. This is such a weird thing for him to be going through. He is going to pause. Like he's basically got arms like under each of your armpits, and he's like dragging you. And so you're definitely like leaned at a pretty severe angle because you're probably like 6 foot tall suit of armor or something like that. You're probably taller than everyone except Lorazis in the party, I'd assume. And he kind of realizes something, and he's gonna go, Fenrir?
Heh.
The moment he says his name, yes.
God. He kind of pushes you back up onto your feet. God damn it, man.
I was
thought
trying to get some rest.
I thought someone had just left another suit of armor and like didn't even tell me anything, and they were just like expecting me to. I've inventoried you. I now have another suit of chainmail that I was gonna like. If someone requisitioned, I was gonna give you away. He's like scratches out, and makes a notation.
It was Fenrir.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's just
Apologies. I was just trying to get some rest away from people.
You have a busy morning already?
He looks down at some of the cuts and things in his armor. Yes.
And I feel like you definitely got just like probably dried blood at this point, just like from all the bandits that you've cleaved through.
Killed. Yeah.
I guess that does answer it, yeah. Uh, yeah, okay. I guess if you don't mind, just step back outside. Sorry, I dragged you like you weren't a person. Um, but yeah, you can rest right outside. I don't care.
Thank you. And I'll let you know if anybody tries to get in.
All right.
Because I'm not technically asleep. I can still observe and everything else.
Yeah, you have Century's Rest, I think it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I'm considered a construct.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until the day when you're actually just camping alone and you have a watch and it doesn't matter. Like it's gonna have to be on Larazis's time is when I'd be able to do something. Because I
You think
imagine,
I'm volunteering for what?
yeah,
They're gonna make you. They're gonna fucking
Don't
make
make
you.
me.
there's 3 watches.
I just
But yeah,
imagine.
over a
There's
4-hour
I'm,
period.
there's
Three people who aren't me.
yeah.
I just imagine I'm in Horace's tent, like, Dutch just peeks in. She wants him to watch. Really?
Are there 3
And then he
watches in a
just drags
4-hour
me.
rest?
He
I
just drags me outside and says, "You watch."
Do you each have to get 4 hours, or can it be
We
like you watched 1 hour and so you rested for 3?
um
Or when does
I
that happen?
I don't need to sleep, but meditate semi-consciously for 4 hours a day. After resting this way, you gain the same benefit that a human does from 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
technically, yes, I need a solid 4. So
I'm assuming it works the same way a regular long rest does, where
yeah,
somebody's on watch, but that still counts as part of their rest, kind of thing.
I don't
Technically,
know. I think
I
that
just need
depends
to
on the
be.
Well,
DM.
so a long rest is
Hmm.
generally broken up into 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of activity that's no more than reading a book.
Oh,
I just need to
yeah,
be in
because
an
I
inactive state.
You don't have to sleep
yeah,
the full. So being on watch is considered the same.
okay, because I just thought it was up to the whatever DM was doing it at the time of whether or
It
not it'd be.
technically is.
So I'd
Yeah, we
say
always did like 2 watches, I think, right?
Yeah, that's I like 2 watches because it just gets. Yeah,
too much rolling. Yeah.
it's so much rolling.
I am always on watch. What do you mean?
I do love the idea of Fenrir like waking someone up. God, none of you sleep. De-trancing one of
Oh,
you to
Just
to
clap.
take your
I mean,
turn,
I
but then
can sleep.
he just
It
goes
doesn't
right
say I
back to
can't.
watching.
Like,
Hey,
it
she wants
doesn't
him to
say I
watch. Yeah.
can't sleep, so I probably sleep for the joy of it.
I also love
Yeah.
that you
I would
have a
love.
-1 to perception, but you always keep watch. Like you're really bad at it, but you're
I
always
have a
doing it.
-2
You
perception.
have a -2.
Oh
Oh
no!
god. And you're always doing it.
I'm
Who let
always on
you do
watch.
this?
I mean, I'm technically a lot of the time doing a perimeter check myself, so
Uh,
like, guess
okay.
it balances out.
So it might
Benefits of having a 7 wisdom.
yeah, it might be easier to sneak up on Fenrir than I thought.
Yeah, my passive wisdom
Yeah.
perception is only 8.
He'll always be watching, he'll always be awake, but
Of alarmists.
doesn't notice a lot of things.
If you're not an enemy, I do not care.
Yeah.
I just imagine I'm in my inactive state with the false appearance, and then Ben just like, oh, dude, they left the suit of armor out. Let's go take it.
I
It would cackle.
I honestly have no idea what I would do in character if we were like sneaking up on a camp and Travis is like, "Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's keeping watch. You do just see like couple of random suits of armor kind of next to the fireplace or
Oh
campfire.
no! Oh no!
So do
I
you,
You'll
would be
never
just like
immediate.
know.
Just
walk in?
oh fuck.
You will never know at that point.
I'd be like, huh, that's weird. I guess I walk into the camp. He's like, you see them light up with deep blue shining eyes.
So,
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you would actually think that's actually a pretty smart idea because you would think nobility would have these suits of armor placed around their perimeters
a
because you know
thousand
how they
percent.
have those like decorative armor statues all around.
Oh yeah,
Just
it
imagine
would,
they're all animated armors.
especially anyone who's remotely nervous about being targeted by like the thieves guild. Be
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
oh, you just thought this was a suit of armor next to the priceless painting? Psych, it's a paladin.
Mhm.
Well, it doesn't have to be a paladin.
Some of them might be paladins. Some of them might be fighters. Probably none of them are barbarians.
That'd
Although
be so weird.
it would make sense for you to always be angry, but I don't think the
I
rage
don't have a
mechanic works
body.
well if you're not
Mhm.
unarmored.
Yeah, because they don't wear armor. Actually, yeah, you're right.
But yeah, you all take your rest, such as it is,
With
um,
some shenanigans.
with some shenanigans. It wouldn't be y'all without shenanigans. Um, so yeah, I imagine um, Fenrir, you never quite get the opening you want to sneak into the quartermaster's tent. Like he always kind of uh, is like going out and in, like but very quickly. He mostly is like sending runners to kind of take reports to people. He's not really, besides um, doing morning inventory and then being present for if people do try to come and requisition something. Um, he doesn't typically leave the area, and so you always kind of think you've got an opening, and then like he's right back in there, and you have to go back to looking like you're resting. I'm assuming Duchess, you hop down from the tree and kind of pack up your empty tent again, and
Probably don't even carry the tent. I probably just like gutted it and then just don't even carry the tent.
yeah,
So I'm just
I, I
like, okay, yeah, nope. There's always just kind of a standing tent there. So
I feel like every single time um, you make camp in the larger army, Marcus provides you with a new one, knowing full well you're not going to use it,
oh yeah,
and uh, you're not going to pack it up when you leave.
yep.
They gave me all the requisitions normal soldiers get, but I don't even use any of it.
Yeah, you've got like days worth of rations, and
Yep.
you're just like,
Oh yeah, no, I
well,
stash it, but I stash food. It's if anybody pays attention to my mannerisms, you'll be like, oh my god, is this person okay? What is like, who did something that bad to this person to make her like poop every night and stash food? Like seriously.
It's
Is
fine.
this
You're just a
a
squirrel.
poor person thing that I don't understand?
It's an
Two
abused person
different
thing
but
that you don't
insulting
understand.
things.
If it's not emotional abuse from parents, I don't comprehend the abuse.
you did
Oh,
have a
it's
very very nice childhood, except for the fact that maybe your dad's a dick. I don't know if we've
Maybe.
decided yet.
No,
you do not.
I mean, it's totally normal to see your dad 3 or 4 times a month, right?
You do
I
not
think so.
understand
I think so.
the
It's totally
complications
normal.
of trauma.
Yeah. Especially once, like, you matured 50 years ago. What more was he going to teach you?
Right? Uh,
Um, yeah. So, um, as as you all kind of meet back together, and it's roughly around noon, lunchtime. Marcus is still in his tent. He's probably eating at this point. Um,
Shall we go requisition some horses?
I think we could swing that.
It would kind of suck having to walk all the way to.
Yeah, it would also probably come back poorly on us if we do end up catching up to the prince and something bad had happened to him, and I just had a random number of people walking after him. Speed is probably a good idea at this point. Yes, so I guess we'll need 7 horses.
What?
Ah, yes. I've been sending you off alone, and you've done very well up to this point. But Shade and 2 of our more senior scouts are going to be accompanying you. Just an extra pair of eyes, and should you need
They're
to
bored,
follow
aren't
2 leads. Everyone's so fucking bored. I mean, most of the bandits are dead now. I have to imagine we'll be able to pack up the camp soon. But until
How
that
well off we gotta
happens,
be to be attacked by bandits and then immediately be like, why wasn't that more?
That sounds like D&D to me.
yeah,
That does.
you can probably tell like there's like the exact like polar opposite responses to it, because this is like you're probably one of maybe 4 like roughly same size company of just like fully new green recruits, and like the reaction is kind of mixed among them, but like some of them that were there for the attack, they look like a little bit shaken and like maybe they're regretting signing up. Like, you know that like the damage to the town happened because one of the new recruits in the mage corps panicked and like cast thunder clap wave. Which one's the spell?
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. And which is, what you all heard from the woods, and then also damaged some of the fence, which caused the smoke. And then you get to like the veterans of the company, and they're just like, what the fuck? Like, literally anyone could have done this.
Even those new recruits.
Exactly. And so, yes.
I just imagine Finger has like the mentality of a veteran. But people still treat him like a recruit.
I feel like that's accurate, because it's one of those things where it's almost like seniority is judged by like number of like active campaigns you've been on, and like you joined after the last one, and so like even though you've got like probably months of experience of like being with the company, like they don't count this shit as a campaign. And so it's like you still haven't done like your one thing to like be a veteran of. Whereas like there are others that are like, oh yeah, like we are part of a skirmish on over here that, and they've got nicknames based off of stuff they've done. God damn it, I'm gonna make myself have to give companies nicknames. Shit.
Yep.
You just did it. You just wrote it in. Why would you do this?
As I
Yeah.
was talking, I was like, God damn, I'm going to like reread Malazan Book of the Fallen and be like, what's Bridge Burners but different, and why would they have gotten that name?
Just jack it completely. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll just improv it. I'm really good at coming up with names like Greg, so I should be really good at coming up with nicknames for companies based on exploits.
Yeah.
You want a full name list? Because I have that.
I'm pretty sure they give other people and recruits nicknames as well.
Oh, 1,000%.
Also, just have like ridiculous nicknames like,
Oh, I
we're
wanna know.
trench turners. Oh, that sounds good. What'd you do? Oh, we made the corner like angled things into trenches. Oh, but did you see combat? No, we dug a lot of trenches.
We're good at holes.
Yeah.
I just imagine what people would call Erasmus.
Oh, so many
Duchess.
things, but none of them were good.
I mean, would people even give Duchess a nickname? Because it's pretty obvious it's already a fucking nickname. And she
Yeah.
refuses to, like,
The Duchess.
give her real name.
I feel like they've tried to give you a nickname like Scamp or like Fingers or something that like goes with like the fact that you occasionally steal from them. But like nothing stuck as much as like your obvious not your own name that you
Nickname?
go by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're like
damn
okay.
it, so doesn't give her a nickname.
I will also state Larazis has absolutely no concept that that's a nickname.
That's fine.
Right. It's like
Completely fine. Because if you know, you know. If you don't know, then it's just some random nickname.
and like I think that's what makes it even better because like for the veterans, like it's obvious like the irony of you being Duchess and like being the urchin of like the company. And so it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're not gonna be able to top that. Like cuz that's like the two strains of nicknames are like you did something fucking awesome and you got this name for it. Or
Where?
you're fucking Little John. Like they made a name to make fun of the exact opposite of what you are, kind of thing. And
I mean, because
they were not going to top Duchess.
Flower crown. I wear a flower crown.
What do they gonna call Fenrir Body?
Yeah, definitely an alive person. They're still workshopping things.
Definitely an
The
alive
only
person.
one with a settled name in this little group.
Yeah,
No, wait, that's what that was what they would call
They just-
things.
they just call
Definitely an
Fenrir
alive person.
human. Oh yeah,
Dap. You're a Dap. That's funny.
I can't wait to come up with nice nicknames for companies based off of like when they earned it, and then just absolute asshole nicknames based off of like one mistake you made, and you just had to like
Oh,
own
yeah.
up to it.
At some point, I need to be called Moneybags or some shit. Like,
That's what I thought people were gonna call you.
I haven't really flaunted my wealth other than not comprehending things that aren't gold.
That's fair.
And like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
constantly like in my money pouch looking at this one silver piece, and I'm just like, it's so neat. Just like I don't. Like,
And it would
the
definitely
novelty of it.
it would have to be the thing where like one of the other three members of your squad would have to be the one to give you a nickname because you haven't really interacted with anyone else besides Marcus, who he does not give out nicknames. That is for the veterans in his company to do, or the mayor, who even
It's
even
not
if
going to be a
the,
nice nickname.
Oh,
yeah,
how are people putting the fence together? Have they started working on that? Should I go see the mayor before we leave?
No.
by this time
Please
they
don't.
they probably are working on the fence. It's fucking noon.
If he starts heading toward the mayor's house, can I just scruff him and like point him away from the mayor's house again?
To the horses.
Yeah.
I was simply going to congratulate him on locating his wood.
We're not gonna agitate the mayor any more than we already have. Horses.
Yes.
I think Marcus is just like,
I reluctantly go towards the horse.
Yeah. And yeah, like you're riding with
I'm
like
just the exasperated mom friend of the group now.
honestly, I did not if anyone was going to be the mom, I would have pegged Fenrir for it, but I do love that like you
Fenrir was probably gonna let him do it. Get chewed out.
because of who Larazis is being, the fact that you're having to be a mom is just delighting me to no end because
Hilarious.
I feel like in any other party makeup you would get to be the little mischievous one. And you're still kind of
Yeah.
mischievous. Like
I'm
you're not
mischievous at all.
you're not mischievous, but because of Larazis you have to occasionally be the mom, and you're probably like, God damn it.
And Marcus is probably laughing his ass off too.
Oh, it's probably worth it. Like he knows that anytime that he sees you, you've probably stolen something from him before you leave. But
Yeah.
watching you exasperated dealing with Lorazis, he might give Lorazis a raise.
It's brutal and Yaskier at this point, okay?
Like just
Wait.
promote him to just like a ridiculously
Squad leader.
yeah. Be like, you're a scout captain, but I don't do any scouting. It doesn't matter. You're a scout captain
It
now.
doesn't matter. You're here to purely annoy that one.
You get 7 gold a week. You're doing a great job. Fantastic.
I'm simply preparing the man for when he has to deal with the batters.
I feel a little bad for you there now, Lorazis, because Shade's coming with us.
Shade seems nice and quiet. I have literally only seen Shade, so.
You saw what she did to me in the square, didn't you?
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah, you were doing something similar to Marcus without the tripping.
Yeah,
That's true.
but if I'm like this to you, how is she gonna be to you when I just step back and say, fuck it, let's see you get bit by a rattlesnake, huh?
Kind of snake is a rattlesnake. A baby snake? Because I know what a rattle is.
Yeah, it's those jewel crested things that have gems on the inside that shake around.
Yeah.
You literally read my mind.
Oh my god.
I feel like if you ever heard a rattlesnake in the wild, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't sound anything like the coins that you usually jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like everyone else is like, back.
Lorazis just shakes his money bag at the snake. This is what it sounds like.
Do it better. Oh my god, I'm gonna belittle this.
Shameful.
I just expect Trigger would probably just be like, it's a snake.
You just turn around and it's just like, is this what copper sounds like? Is this what like poor people's rattle sounded like? And what did you have encrusting the outside? Silver? Oh man, when you find out they're like full of beans, you're gonna flip your shit.
Like actual rattles?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Actual big rattles.
Dude, oh, there's little like things in them. It's I get it. I have a rattle sitting somewhere in my garage. It's great.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, we're writing.
As we're riding out of town, this conversation is happening.
Yep.
So
Everyone's preparing to just let me get bit by a snake. They're like, please tell me if you see a snake.
Exactly. Please, I want to push him toward it.
yeah, so I'd say probably like as you're riding north, let's see here. We'll try to zoom in a little bit.
Get that off my mind now. Jesus Christ.
So you can basically on the world map, like Gesh is probably like right here ish, and then it goes up north, and so this is like kind of a day and a half. Well, this is like an actual port town. Madrash is probably closer to like right here because they've got the river on one side and the woods on the other. And this is actually not really like, I don't know, be like a mercantile, like almost like militia. Because probably all of you would know from just existing, this is like one of the kind of wonders of the world, which would be like it's like a lake that has a whirlpool in the middle of it that somehow feeds 3 different like rivers branch off of it in 3 different parts to go down into the sea. And you would know that like there's a rumor that this is actually like a gateway into like the underworld, although no one's been really dumb enough to try it. that's just been like the kind of legend myth of, yeah, if you're able to sail down that, when you come back up, you'll see the goddess of death, kind of thing, which is probably accurate because you'll probably die on the way down, and then when you wake up, you'll see the goddess of death. But yeah,
This ain't Sinbad, bitches.
yeah. So Midrash is like probably right here. It is, it's larger than Gesh is. Like it's probably an actual, like, where Gesh is kind of riding the border between like a town and a village. Like Midrash would be considered probably like a large town that is on the coast, and probably like an hour's ride away from the bridge that goes into the Elf Kingdom. And so, yeah,
Okay.
I think I said it was like a day and a half to 2 days travel. So with horses, you could probably get there. It would be after nightfall. You're probably looking at maybe somewhere between 9 to 11 p.m. is when you would probably um, kind of ride into town, and that would be probably like at a constant kind of trot. I'd imagine you're probably riding kind of adjacent to the road and occasionally pausing to um, make sure that you're still on track. So um, we'll probably handle it like this. We'll initially go back to where you first kind of found the clues, and you'll just ride on the road at that point. And then at that point, we'll probably uh, I don't, uh, let's see here. I think we're gonna do just like we're gonna start off with 2 checks of, and um, we're gonna kind of not give you advantage, but with Shade and the other 2 scouts kind of with you, um, we'll just kind of give everyone like an additional D6 to roll on these checks, like as you're kind of riding along, because you're when you're making checks, it's basically like you're trying to not trample over what would be evidence in case they decide to leave the road. And so it's like you're kind of using your peripherals to catch any changes to then investigate. Um, so, um, let's
Perception.
yeah, let's do perception. Um, yeah, we'll do perception first because I think that's what you're kind of trying to do initially, is just see, oh,
If there's
like where we're riding, like, do we see tracks splitting off? And we'll use perception for that. And then if you do notice something like that, you'll dismount, you'll use investigation to try to get a better feel of what
I
happened,
got
kind of
a
thing.
15.
why did I
15.
say why did I say perception?
And you said we added D6 to that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
call that
yeah.
like
Total 15.
and is that a 19 for Larasis?
Yeah,
I
19.
got a 6 total.
That's
With that adding a d6.
Yep, I rolled a 1.
I got a 2.
Wait.
Total!
Is that adding a d6?
Am I adding a D6? What is
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was about to be terrified.
your minimum's gonna be like a
Okay,
3.
I rolled a 4. Again, I have a -2.
Yeah.
Oh,
So technically, I guess his minimum would be a 0.
My
Yeah.
passive wisdom perception is an 8. So,
Yeah.
and
So
with the D6, it bumps it up to a 6.
it's not bad. Larazis and Duchess are definitely kind of taking the reins on this first check, and you do notice um, um, the tracks are still basically going along this road, and so you're kind of at this first bend here, um, and we'll kind of get you up to here, and let's do another check for everyone.
so another perception check.
Yeah.
23.
You know this is going to be
Oh my
bad for
god.
me.
Where
Oh, I accidentally rolled 2d6. Okay. So
Do I get to
17 probably?
add another D6 to it?
Yeah. This is just
This
trying
roll
to.
did not go as well.
That was a 6 that time. Without the D6. That is a 9.
That's not bad. Sorry, I was looking a little bit confused at Fig's rolling because it looked like she got an 11 and then rolled a 9 for her d6.
Yeah, I accidentally rolled 2d6, so I was just counting like the first d6 that like came out.
Which one was that? Oh, a 6. 17's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't forgot I can expand those. Yeah, so Fenrir, I mean, this just isn't your strong suit, but
Yeah.
we kind of flip flopped Larazis and Songshen. Duchess has still been pretty much on it. This is kind of what she lives for. You do see, like, as you get to kind of this crossroads, which a little bit more north is going to hit Madrash, west takes you over the bridge into the Wood Elf Kingdom. You do see it split. And so Shade kind of calls a halt as you kind of point that out, and you all kind of dismount. And anyone who would like to take a closer look, roll investigation checks.
Oh,
And
that's
I
better.
would still add that D6 by chance.
yeah,
Okay.
you're still basically just getting passive help from
Oh my
Shade.
god.
13. Hey, we rolled the same thing,
I
Shin.
as I walk up,
I did a
as
little bit better.
I feel like this could be attributed to me in the Elven King. A little bit of RP second here. I would like Duchess to walk up to the edge of the bridge and just kind of stare, because she rolled a nat 1, so 6 technically, but so 8. Actually, it's technically an 8 on investigation, but she's staring out over the bridge, and there's just an unreadable expression on her face, like almost longing, but like she needs to be here, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But she wants, yeah. It's a very unreadable expression, but it's.
Is that the bridge that I came over, like, when I came from the High Elf Kingdom?
I think so. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
I should have made a way for, but yeah, like you probably traveled through the Wood Elf Kingdom just because why would you cross the river when there's a perfectly good road that goes over a bridge, kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And you were just kind of having a day with it until you helped those nice men unload the
Yeah.
cart.
I walked, and then,
Yeah.
like, after a lot of walking, it was like, man, this is all.
Yeah, you're
It's
just kind of
like
having a chill journey for a
days.
while. Yeah.
Like, Do I have to keep walking?
Do people just do
Yeah.
this?
But yeah, I am just staring out over that bridge toward the Wood Elf Kingdom, unreadable and in my own head.
That makes perfect sense. Yes. So 17. Okay. I was like, does Loresis have the highs of 13? So you do see, with the exception of Duchess, who's probably being unreadably contemplative right now, you see probably it looks like the easy majority has crossed the bridge because the tracks just kind of end when it hits the stone, and you can probably assume it picks back up on the other side, and then a much smaller party continues north towards Madrash. You do see it's definitely more than 3 sets of footprints. So, not that you probably would have thought this, but you can easily rule out that, like, oh, they just let them go, or like it's a small group, but it's enough to be potentially the prince and his bodyguards and some extra bodies, or it could just be extra bodies going, and then the prince and his bodyguard are with the main group that have crossed over the bridge.
It's to everyone.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one, Napa?
I said no. I relay this to everyone.
You vote to go after everyone?
No, I relay this.
Oh,
to everyone.
sorry. I feel like I kept just
Really
getting
far back in the tunnel today.
a single chop right before you started talking, so I kept hearing everyone. But like leading up to that, I was like,
Yeah, sorry
yeah.
about that.
I kill everyone.
No,
all right, yeah,
okay.
roll initiative. Let's go. Yeah. I trick them into thinking that I'm just a suit of armor on the road, and then when they get really close, I stab them.
In the throat. And watch them die.
Could you just like go limp and collapse into a pile of armor?
Not without spell magic.
Yeah,
I'll work on that. Because that would give you
No.
advantage on stealth. I feel like.
No.
it would hurt
because
a
I'd be
lot.
unconscious. I would be unconscious at that
But
point.
you would be stealthful.
Look, I don't understand the issue. I could carry you in my pack, and you'd be much quieter.
Or a bag of holding.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
don't have one of
Don't
those.
put me in a, well, technically,
This is
actually,
later. I don't get dispel
yeah.
magic till 3rd level spells.
Wait, you could put me in a bag of holding because I do not require to breathe.
Oh god.
True.
same.
We could just store half the party in a bag of
Oh yeah, no. People come up on us like, oh yeah, hey, look, it's a couple of elves. Let's go rob them. And be like,
I'm gonna pull out my sorcerer from the
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Don't
pull
worry
out my
about it.
suit of
There's-
armor. Yeah.
Just a paladin smiting and a sorcerer casting chaos bolt immediately.
Or I just
out of
have
a
Fenrir
backpack.
stick an arm out and cast smite, and I just tap his arm on whatever the hell I need him to smite.
The BBEG is just gonna put like 30 animated armor in a bag of holding. We're gonna
Oh,
like
no.
corner him, and he's just gonna pull it inside out.
Yeah.
And you see the Archmage cast Catapult. Well, that's just the first thing. Well, that's not going to do much. He catapults a bag of holding at you.
Uh-oh.
What's that gonna do? It explodes.
30 animated armor from the bag.
And
Oh
they're
my god,
all
we can
smiting.
pull the grog move.
They're all paladins.
We can do
Best
Oh.
TPK ever.
Yeah.
Don't my ideas.
So we made fun of Philip one night, and then he had 30 paladins pop out of a bag of holding and smite all of us. We were level 4. Whatever.
We said Bellinis were terrible, and you went, excuse me?
Okay.
We made fun of his little jump
I
he did in a different fucking campaign.
just
Okay,
talked
hold on.
about
no,
today.
You might actually kill us if we do this.
Literally just had a conversation today with someone about how much I love Bellinis. I don't. It made me almost pause to wonder if I had accidentally sent that to you and we were talking about it, because why else you just randomly bring up Bellinis?
We just know you is the thing.
Yeah.
God,
Oh no. Travis loves you so much. He just notices things. Just little
Oh
things.
my god.
I honestly think that there are so many cocktails that have orange juice in them and would just be better if like you had peach juice. Like I don't know what you call a screwdriver with peach juice instead of orange juice, but it sounds delicious to me.
I wouldn't know.
Because I
I drink
prefer
vodka.
Bellinis over mimosas. So I can only imagine I'd prefer Phillips head screwdrivers over regular screwdrivers. I don't know what you call
So,
them. Yeah. So yeah, you relay that to everyone.
Called a fuzzy screwdriver.
I
That would make sense. Yeah.
my God.
I don't like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Imagine like fuzzy
yeah.
handcuffs, where it's just like the screwdriver's that.
Could you just imagine walking into someone's house and be like, "Do you have a screwdriver?" and them handing you like a fuzzy screwdriver, and it's like obviously like the same material that comes with like fuzzy handcuffs, and them being like, "What? It's part of a set."
Oh,
If
Oh
you need a
god.
drill, I got that too.
no. Oh,
But yeah, you relay that to the rest of the party. Um,
I just very absentmindedly acknowledge that you said something.
it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like you're like, mm-hmm, yeah, cool.
Yep. I
Yeah.
am not in the present.
so either the prince went up to the town with his bodyguards and maybe a little bit more bodies with him, or they were taken across the bridge. I do
Now,
not know.
assuming they're the same bandits that we encountered near the mine, would they have been able to take said prince?
There's 50 of them.
How many footprints do we see?
So it probably started out with 30. Is the group that met the prince and his bodyguards initially, uh,
Probably about 60.
potentially were about 60, yeah. And then a group of 30, uh, this is the working assumption, took the prince and his bodyguards up north. And now uh, it looks to be about um, 20 or so went one way, 10 or so went another way. Um, so it's like the majority of the party has continued on west, but there's enough footprints going either way that um,
We wouldn't be able to tell which one is the prince and whatnot.
Well,
actually
have
so
oh,
I'm gonna ask for one final investigation check, um, and rather than doing like a group check, if one of you wants to take a closer look and another one can give the help action. Um,
I'm
The better.
very investigative.
How many plus do you got?
5.
Oh, yeah, by all means. I will help you. Or,
You
I'm
said
sure.
advantage.
Yes.
So 18.
okay. So as Fenrir's kind of discussing everything that he kind of saw, because he rolled pretty similar to what he ended up getting. Um, but you do um, notice something interesting about one of the tracks going north has a clearly much heavier footfall than um, any of the others.
Since I never saw the party, I'm just gonna be like, one of these gentlemen eats quite a lot, making a fat joke at the heavier footfall, pointing it to the rest of the party who might know more.
Well, it could be someone wearing a lot more heavy armor.
I
Could
mean,
be
that's
one of the
fair, but I
bodyguards.
don't think any of the bandits were wearing heavy armor.
That's what I meant. Could be one of the guards with the prince.
That's a fair point.
They just wanted the prince. Why wouldn't they just, once they have them captured, immediately murder the guards and take the prince?
The money.
Oh, well, my family wouldn't have paid much for bodyguards. They were already paying the bodyguard.
Figure's just looking at him.
It's like he's trying so hard to not hate you, kind of thing. um,
He turns the shade.
yeah.
Shall we go investigate the town?
Yes, I think we should. The heavier one sounds like Boars.
I'm
Which,
sorry, could you repeat that name?
Boars. He's the bannerman of the little Brightwood shit. I mean,
And
Ramus
can
Brightwood.
just completely and utterly flinch at the word Brightwood?
Yes, you may.
Do I know the name Brightwood?
Yeah, you would. It's a
I do
pretty
not.
prominent family in the human kingdom. Well, how much how much studies would you have done, like as far as diplomacy goes, like to learn about like
After
foreign
school,
affairs?
my father would have forced me to do a lot.
Okay, yeah. You definitely, they're a very prominent family. They're technically one of the first families, which is a term for basically anyone who can trace their lineage directly back to um, anyone who was involved in like the human revolution. Um, so it's like the Horn Ravens, which are the royal family, can trace theirs all the way back to the hero, some say, um, who son was the first king of Farideh. And the Brightwoods were also can trace their lineage directly back to kind of one of the heroes of the revolution as well. So they're very important. They have a lot of power in the kingdom. Um,
So I might actually respect this man.
you would respect him in the worst way possible, which is he has a lot of power. He has a lot of money. Um, you
Someone
would,
my father would actually talk to.
yeah, you would find it a little funny that he was like a bodyguard for the prince. Um,
Actually, yeah, that doesn't sound right.
like that'd be like if just like the son of like the Secretary of State um, decided to just
Join the
like
Secret
join
Service.
the Secret Service, and it's just like no, you should have Secret Service for you.
Did you do that on purpose, by the way? Was that a Resident Evil reference on purpose?
No,
All right, cool. Anyway, continue.
uh, but yes, as you continue north and like night has fully fallen at this point as you kind of get to town, and we'll switch over to you kind of you come through the south gate, which kind of opens out into like this very kind of open courtyard, and you are kind of stopped at the gate. uh, by a couple of guards who are like, "Sorry, but there's actually a curfew right now. There's some bandit activity happening in the area."
We know. We're with the kingdom.
Do we have any like official garb or like badge?
I do have a scroll of my position and seal of the army.
Pretty sure mine's somewhere around too, but I wouldn't know where it is.
And Shade probably has more.
Yeah. Yeah, Fenrir definitely has like proof of basically being alive kind of thing. Which is like, yeah, like this was an animated armor found here. He is assigned to Captain Marcus's company. He holds like yada yada yada. And then Shade probably does. She has like a badge kind of denoting her station, and she does pull it out. And she's like, "Yes, we're aware, as the others have also told you. Maybe we can help each other." And
These are members of the Wood Elf Kingdom.
no, so this is still in the human kingdom.
Still in the Human
So this would be like the town garrison kind of slash town watch of.
I don't have as much pull here.
Did he,
I'm just trying to be unobtrusive as possible.
what, you said it
The
was
less you notice me, the better.
Wood Elf Prince?
No, it's the human prince, yeah. So
the human prince.
yeah, the two wood elf items are the gold you found on all the slaughtered bandits, and then also a good portion of the bandit company seems to have crossed the river into the wood elf kingdom. But you followed the path north because you believe the heavier tracks belong to Bors, one of the bodyguards that were with the prince.
Did a prince and a group come through here recently?
I think we would have seen a prince, but it's late if you are wanting to come in. Sure, we can, you know, offer some shelter from the road for tonight. And maybe you can help us with the bandits in the morning.
Like, so,
In the morning. What is this? Something that like our party doesn't comprehend? 8 hours of sleep? Who rests that long?
Yeah.
Why are you so
Yeah,
late?
really.
Why are you so
Oh my god, that's so long ago.
we
Like,
take too long
where,
rests.
where are those people that were supposed to help us? I don't know. They're not here. All right, well, let's head out. Oh wait, there they are, coming back to town, all bloodied. We killed all the bandits.
We
Yeah.
did it again. We left without you. We had all the fun.
I should have specifically made. I mean, I guess I still can, but I just love the idea of just like the two scouts that are supposed to be with you to help, being humans, and being like, "Oh yeah, full night's rest sounds great to us," and just everyone else being like, "Come
Even
on."
Shade's like, finally, people that actually know how to rest.
Yeah.
As we get in, would it be possible to maybe take Shade and go investigate some of the towns, get the layout of the area, and just poke around a bit at night while
Yeah.
we're there? Because we only need 4 fucking hours.
Yeah. So, you can kind of see from like when you kind of rode up into town, um, the kind of south entrance that you came through looks to be roughly in the middle, a little bit more towards the right of the town total. You kind of see the walls extend out to either side, kind of going further east, further west, and then further west it kind of ends in you saw some docks that go into the river with like some boats, people who they fish for a living, so they take the boats out in the morning, they do some fishing on the river, they come back with their haul. So you do see like um, and you can see from the courtyard houses and shit to the right and left of you as well.
Is there anybody possibly like lurking in shadows somewhere where the guards can't see?
Make a perception check for me. And are you wanting to do this from? Do you want to be in the courtyard doing this, or do you want to head towards one of the areas that have like houses where people could skulk?
Possibly head toward one of the houses where the people could skulk. Almost
Okay. So one more question: do you want to go east or west?
east.
Okay.
15 perception.
Okay.
Do I still get that plus D6 from being with the others, or is it just this
Um.
is just me?
Well, before I answer that, what is everyone else doing? Because maybe.
Okay. That's why I asked, because I was like,
I'm probably going to be going to one of the more prominent inns to try and see if the prince or his bodyguard checked in at one of them.
Okay. And so,
And ask if they were paid in the Elven gold coins recently.
um, yeah, he's going to point you to kind of there's an inn on the southeast of town, uh, um, and an inn right near the north entrance slash exit on the northeastern end of town, um, uh, kind of near the governor's mansion. And
Rouses, would you like to accompany me?
Under the stipulation that after we is it nighttime right now?
yeah,
In the morning before we leave, I'd like to see if the governor's in.
Put that.
you can't
We can
bully
make
every bureaucrat I throw into my campaign, Travis.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Governor, if he's competent, might
That's
warrant
true.
some respect.
I mean,
He's already got walls around the whole city, so
Yeah, I mean, he seems prepared. I like this guy already.
yeah.
it would get us more information too, so.
Yeah. So and I'm assuming Song Shen is going to go with one of the other pairs, but you're kind
I,
of
I, I will, I will go with somebody, but my brain is so melty right now. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry.
oh, it's no worries. I would
I'm
just
gonna go look for
It's
skulking
only a
people.
million degrees in your country.
yeah, I'm just
It's
not
not even
gonna
that. It's the
leave you alone.
sickness.
Um yeah,
If you can come with Finger.
COVID brain
Yeah, yeah.
fog is no joke. Well,
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
if you have it.
Come with a joint
Yeah,
with a
so Duchess, Shade is just going to give you just a straight up help action, so you can just roll with advantage for your kind of perceiving. And then let me drop some tokens.
Was that for perception or stealth?
Perception. Um,
21 then.
okay.
With
And
that help action.
if
Did I say 21 or 29?
I think it said
21.
21.
Okay, just making sure, because my brain was like, yeah, you said 29, and I went, that math does not compute. So
Good
21.
point. Yeah.
So we'll let. So you guys are kind of going to the inn to see if there are um, people you can talk to about such things. And then Duchess and Shade are kind of sticking to the shadows themselves and trying to see if they can't see anyone who appears suspicious. With a 21 perception, um, you don't see anyone skulking. What you do see are there seem to be very regular guards patrolling, not just kind of keeping watch on the walls, they're patrolling the streets around town. Um, but they all their demeanor is I belong here. I'm doing my job. Um, they're not being secretive about it, but they are there are quite a few guard patrols happening.
There's no like random shadows moving right behind a guard patrol as they pass an alleyway. There's no like, hey, make a noise over here, a guard looks over here, and then the shadow passes. None of that.
No, the honestly the closest thing to that would be you and Shade. Like
Okay,
that's you guys. Like you are
that's the two of us. Yeah.
yeah, you're noticing the patrols, but you're you're keeping to the shadows. You're the ones,
Mhm.
you know, kind of getting them to turn their heads so you can dodge down an alley. Um, and this makes sense to you because while you might not view the bandits in such a negative light as like Laraz's, you got their medal in the two encounters you had, and they were loud, boisterous. You know, it's not impossible, but it makes sense that there's no bandits skulking about avoiding these guard patrols. Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't seem like they have that in their resume, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, this is what you do, this is what Shade does. On occasion, this is what Fenrir does. This is not what the bandits do.
Okay.
Very
So,
poorly.
um, and were you wanting? I feel like it's a given that you're probably stealthing. Did you roll
Yes,
stealth?
I can. I mean, it's
Yeah, just to
always.
kind of for your walkabout.
Do I get an extra thing, or is it just straight stealth?
I'll be rolling for Shade too, and it'll just be like a
Okay.
group check.
28 minus 1 is 27. There we go. There's brain. Because I rolled a 19 and I have a +8 to stealth.
Okay. I honestly think you guys got about the same roll. I've made placeholders for like Shade and Marcus so that I can have their tokens on the board if I need to. So I haven't fleshed out her skills yet, but I was like, she has to at least be better than Duchess at this point in time, so that Duchess could then become better than her. So she has at least like a +10, I think, to stealth, and she rolled a
Mhm.
17. So you both got 27s ish. And
Okay.
so I'm just gonna kind of nestle you down here in the kind of alley, kind of, and you can kind of just hang out in the shadow of that building, and um, you're you're kind of noticing all these patrols pass by, and actually, because of what you're used to, I've insight doesn't feel like the exact right role because you're not really trying to look into someone's motives, but it's the closest I can think of like um, that works. So we're gonna call it an insight roll.
18. Rolled a
Okay.
15.
So you spent years, decades, technically, in the capital city, um, where, and a lot of that time in the slums, which are probably more heavily patrolled than other areas of the city, minus, the extreme rich parts that have just personal security.
Mhm.
And it it feels like the frequency of patrols that are happening now kind of match what you would have seen in the slums, which realistically it should be more like what you would have seen in like the third or fourth levels of the city where, there's the market, there's more respectable taverns, there's the library, there's the mage's tower. Like there are a
Right,
lot
like it
of
should be less
there,
patrolled kind of
right, there's a
thing.
lot of well-meaning people that um, there's not as much room for, you know, pickpockets and urchins, and there's, a presence because sometimes if things do get out of hand, you want someone on hand, but it's just like, maybe one guard posted up at the market, maybe someone doing like occasional rounds, but it's a much longer loop, takes a lot longer to complete. And this feels like those kind of tight, constant patrols that you would have seen in the slums, like after the Thieves Guild pulled a job. And they're like
Mhm.
looking for runners, looking for people that um, aren't important enough to have a safe house but might still know something. Like this is the vibe you're getting from the patrols that are happening now is like the slums after a job.
Yeah. Can I relay that to Shade?
Yes. And
I relay that one to Shade.
she kind of nods kind of understandingly and kind of in agreement. And we will and now that I've had plenty of time to come up with a name for this inn, I wasn't stalling because I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Just do a name
I'm
generator, and
stalling
that
that
way
at
you can
all.
have like a boar's head in like 75 times show up in the freaking list.
Yeah. I
Did
mean, Boar's Head, it's the yeah.
I tell you
Yeah.
how I used a random name generator? Because I was like, I need to have names for villagers just in case someone asks them what their name are. I don't go Greg. And I shit you not, one of the names I got back was Karen. And I was like, God damn it, I could have done this. I can come up with Karen.
One of the female
That's funny.
villagers. Her name's
Question is,
Karen.
was it spelled Karen or was it spelled Karrin?
I would
Or
have accepted the second
Carrin?
one, or even like an
Ren.
RYN. No, it was just literally Karen. My aunt
Oh
in
my
Ohio
god.
spells her name the same way.
Ugh.
I was like, this isn't Ohio, it's a fantasy land full of names with fantasy names.
At least spell it dumb.
Yeah, add an extra consonant or vowel somewhere, or add the devil's
Yeah.
comma. Everyone
It's
loves the devil's comma.
KIRYN. All right.
Yeah. Or just add an apostrophe somewhere in the middle of
Yeah,
your name. Let's do it.
it's
Okay.
K
Well, I feel called
apostrophe
out
A R
immediately.
E N.
Or K
That's my
apostrophe
stretch.
RRIN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corinne. Yeah.
Travis always uses the devil's comma because he knows I never guess it. When I'm doing phonetics, I never think of the devil's comma, and so I always spell all of his NPC names wrong.
Mhm.
But you know what? I like the Boar's Head Inn, and they have a high collection of meats, but you don't know that yet. And cheeses, but you don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Um, I could have just said nothing. I could have
They
been
have
like,
delicious foods.
yeah, you know what? This is where we're going to end tonight. I don't.
Actually, it would
I,
have been a very good position for me to hit tonight.
yeah, I don't actually have to come up with a name for this inn, but I did anyway. So next
Yeah.
week, Boar's Head Inn is canon. and I'll come up with a menu that you can look through the glass and be like, "Can I get a pound of pastrami,
Hey,
please?"
babe. Baby dog.
So
I just imagine. They're like,
Come
sir, why aren't you gonna eat? I can't.
on.
cool. Good talk. What was that over there? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Coming right up. Yep.
Just take off my helmet.
I have a logistics thing. I know I don't have to eat, but can I?
You probably
Yeah.
can, yeah.
I don't know if all the stuff is functional, is the thing.
Anytime anyone wants to be as human as possible, I will allow it. Even
Okay.
Lorazis. Anytime you want to start learning empathy, I'm all on board.
I don't think I can eat, though.
Yeah.
Just pour stuff in. That's what we do with the construct we
Empathy?
have.
Can I just act like I'm eating something?
We could skin it so like, your soul inside the armor is able to kind of digest it into the nether. Like, yeah, you
It
don't
just evaporates
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the air.
you don't gain any benefit from it, but there's not like a baguette jangling inside you or anything like that.
That's literally what it says. So my features and traits is like, oh, you cannot eat, you cannot drink. Anything that you eat falls through you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, that sucks.
But now we can change it to your soul devours it, and it just kind of does nothing for you.
It evaporates into the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Can you at least taste it?
No.
No. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. But you could win a drinking contest.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It'd be
God,
it'd be much harder to win a drinking contest if everyone sees the wine just spilling out of your armor. But if it evaporates into the ether, they can't prove that. Only God can prove that. And which God are you going to ask about it? You don't even know yet.
Yeah, which god controls
Touche.
Yeah.
the ether?
Can you just like roll
And
the
the alcohol
dice,
that goes
call it
there.
into the ether, and if you get like the whole communion thing going, be like, oh, so you're my god.
Roll a d100.
Yeah. Divine
I rolled
intervention.
47.
You gotta stop drinking wine. It's really doing some damage to your inner soul, my man.
God?
Yeah, it's me.
Gods.
And everything's
Which
like
one
really
are you?
chill here in the afterlife. You'd love it. You should come back. No.
Back? Wait,
no,
what?
no, no.
Immediately
Okay.
worried. Baby,
Yeah.
come back.
So that's we will end with sorry.
Come back.
Death.
Yeah.
With Shade and Duchess kind
On
of
the prowl.
stealth in the streets on the prowl, and the other three about to engage in some charisma checks, I'm assuming, at the Boar's Head Inn.
Intimidation.
All right. I can't wait to talk to
So
people.
Woo.
I
Woohoo!
can't
Hopefully
wait.
next week
I
I'll
can't
be
wait to
mentally here.
intimidate.
yeah. And
I
if
can't
not,
believe it's not butter.
that's
Oh,
fine.
shut up. Is that going to be my entire shtick now?
I forgot to make clips of last episode, but I'm sure there's one where I can't believe it's not Butters said at least once again.
Oh, it better be, or I
It's-
failed.
I
as
think it's a
player.
recurring bit, yeah, so.
No. Once he gets his body, it won't be a bit anymore.
Yeah. You'll just stab him and he'll go out and you'll be like, oh,
I
right.
kind of miss being
That was
butter.
that was the old you.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll see everyone next week.
Okay.
And as always, feel free to just kind of post any questions in Discord that you think of, or just want
Up
to
when you get a
chat.
chance to listen to the Saturday session, let me know.
Oh yeah.
Probably gonna try to do that tomorrow. I heard there was some fun Sherlock Holmesing that went on
You
for
Sure.
a bit.
Sure.
I may have
Who?
made comments
But,
about
like-
people.
But like the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly Sherlock Holmesing kind of thing.
Oh,
That
I'm not
is
even that
way more
interested.
accurate.
Yeah.
All right, guys, y'all have a great night.
Have a
All
good
All
night.
right,
later.
you too.
Goodbye.
Night.